Hello, it's your girl. Welcome back. I just got done watching the 1.2 live stream and I've have a lot of thoughts. Between everything added in 1.1 and now seeing what 1.2 is bringing, I honestly think NTE keeps moving in a direction that I personally enjoy. This isn't just about chaos, it's also about why NTE continues to separate itself from the rest of the gachas in the market for me right now. To start the video off, I do want to talk about my chaos pulling experience and how that went. So, as I mentioned before, I am primarily a male banner puller, not out of hate for the female designs or characters, but most did not appeal to me. And to no one's surprise, I'm actually skipping the entirety of 1.2 banners. Although Shinku does look pretty cool, I like the Dragon Girl aesthetic. I think they did her design very well. However, I will be skipping. After I secured Chaos as my first limited banner character, I also got the Porsche. I guess it's up for debate. I'm not really a car person, but I secured it along with the outfit that came with it. And I even spent some money this patch because I've genuinely enjoyed the game and I wanted to support it. So my pulls for Chaos did not go as planned. Unfortunately, he ran my pockets. Thank God NTE does not have a 50-50 or I think I'd just straight up quit. I hit max pity on the character pulls, the weapon pulls. The game made me go all the way to 200 pulls for the costume instead of giving it to me early. So unfortunately, I only ended with Ascension 1, but I am not going any further. Granted, I like the character, but not enough to get 7 copies of him. I only got 2. However, I am thinking about X. If he does come into the game and he fits my vibe, I think he might be the fully ascended character that I'm looking for in NTE anyway. As for how Chaos's combat is, I'm still building him, so I don't really have the numbers at the moment, but what I can comment about is how fluid his combat feels. His animations are satisfying, the quick swaps feel impactful and smooth. Overall, he's just really fun and flashy to play. The scythe is a good feature. Usually the girl characters get the scythe, so I'm really excited about the guy actually getting the scythe and the Blade of Sparta this time. In terms of gameplay and bond interactions, he has met my expectations. I think the biggest con NTE has as a whole is, you know, the text message bond quest you get when they unlock after a certain message appears and you go talk to them in that area. Well, they're not voiced. And I don't think I'm mistaken here, but other characters as well as Lacrimosa, their text message bond quests are not voiced as well. I would like to see that changed. I think it would make it a more immersive experience for all characters. However, let's talk about the male main character elephant in the room. Now, I personally play the female main character as a more self-insert immersive experience. So when the NPC talks to the main character, they're talking to it in a female tone that's gonna receive it. So it makes more sense for me. It's just how I like playing the game. I know a lot of people were disappointed in that the male main character could not hold Chaos's hand, or both female and male main characters cannot hug him in general. I fully expected limitations on these interactions. Eastern developers have a track record of limiting romantic options due to the culture differences. Just an example, the Persona series, at least the recent games, have male protagonists. And specifically, they have a gacha spin-off. I'm not sure if it's a spin-off or not. I'm not big into the Persona series. However, both mainline games and spin-off games seem to have only female romance options. and people leave a lot of feedback for wanting male romance options. However, it doesn't look like they are going to be implementing it anytime soon. I don't see anything about it in official forums. But if you do want to take a look at those sources, I'll leave them in the description about Persona. Overall, what the devs did give us with Chaos's bond interactions, I feel, was within the scope of what they could do to please the broader audience. I am looking forward to the future of male characters in NTE, and I hope the sales reflect a positive reception, because good sales usually speak louder than community requests. It doesn't hurt to try, but I'd love to see more male characters, more male costume variety, and increased bond content, probably for all characters. I wonder if they'll ever expand on that for past characters. More variety in character story importance, although I do think they're doing a great job with phasing in and out different characters in the main story. Please continue to do that. Besides Chaos, why is NTE's gameplay moving in a good direction, in my opinion? Well, in all of the gachas I have played, at least the mainline ones, I think I can safely say Powercreep is in every gacha. So my playstyle and how I approach gachas is that I like to play using characters I enjoy, even if they're not so much the meta anymore. And for how NTE works, it gives older characters some value. They can be housing partners, you can level up their bonds to level 10 and have a little ribbon on your profile or a badge. The random city encounters, you could just have Lacrimosa begging for tomato jelly at a vending machine, you know? Older characters continue to be relevant in the city, and overall, they're scattered throughout the world to talk to. So now I know what you're wondering. What about Beyond the Rails? Ah, yes. The mainline gacha game timer endgame thingy. You know, everybody's got it, at least the mainline ones. And I think my answer is different due to my thought process and how I approach gacha specific endgame mechanics. And I personally do not rush endgame modes when a game launches. I wait until I hit max account level and I have 2 properly built teams. So as of right now, I don't have a lot to say about Beyond the Rails or this current endgame mode for NTE. But for the gachas I am familiar with, they eventually become gear min-maxing, shallow world exploration, and the endgame mode you work so hard to get to and farm for just has an HP inflation problem. And with each patch, this game keeps churning out more of the same content. New world exploration that's done in a day, more gear to min-max just for your older characters not to work anymore in the mode you typically play. Due to this, I usually do not care too much about the endgame modes in gacha, and I keep it real casual. If I do want to challenge myself, I play other games like Where Winds Meet. I have way too many hours in Marvel Rivals, but overall games with competitive modes and leaderboards. In my opinion, I'm not about to grind or stress over stats in an attempt to have a viable team for an artificial HP difficulty boss. That's the same one I fought since launch, but now it has 80 extra health bars. However, in defense of NTE, they have a little bit more to do than just gearing towards these endgame modes, like the city mini games, the housing you can buy furniture for and set up for the people that live in your house that you pull for, remember those? The bond content you can do with those characters, the random encounters throughout the world, not just relevant to characters, but random NPCs can give you achievements. Overall, the side systems in this game actually contribute to progression, and I believe that is due to NTE's implementation of fonts and the currency and what it's used to unlock stuff. And you can decorate your house with that, you can get new cars with that. It really enhances your quality of life in the game. Therefore, in NTE, combat isn't really carrying the game. It's just another piece of the experience. So while the combat in NTE is similar to mainline gachas, Powercreep has not hit my penthouse villa yet, but we don't know about the future. This might be a little little copium, but NTE may not have to implement HP inflation like other titles due to also selling character cosmetics. Characters can also be housing partners and not just combat machines. Bond interactions with characters technically have to be paid for if you have to pull them. And social bragging rights. A lot of people underestimate how badly people want to show off skins and stuff to other folks. So with the in-game social media, Bagel, I think that was a super smart move on their part to make people want to have a higher social standing within the game, even if it's just within their own little world, just for the likes and follows. That being said, the 1.2 live stream has kind of been hitting on a topic I've been pointing out this entire video, and it's that combat isn't the core of this game necessarily. So we've got new housing upgrades, some new customization with fish tanks and furniture blueprints. And did y'all see that motorcycle? It looked incredible. Honestly, that's gonna be my biggest goal this patch if it's a limited thing. If it's not, I'll have time to get it and I won't miss out on it either. But if it is limited, I will sadly have to say goodbye because I need to save a bit. And within the scope of events, they announced summer skins. Can I hopefully cope for some male summer skins? Like, come on, please. Just one. We can have one male summer skin. Another event we're getting is kind of like crop hunt co-op, and then there's this auction event that truthfully I listened to them describe it and I still don't get it, and then the board game RPG that seems like it's gonna line up a little bit with the main story. But if you notice, there was no mention of major combat modes, any new ones, nor anything about updating the combat endgame experience. Maybe they're just happy and satisfied where it is right now, but it's definitely giving vibes that combat is not going to be one of the main sources to fund this game. However, I do want to talk about the board game anomaly and how it might work out with the main story quest. I am cautiously optimistic about it because don't get me wrong, it looks really fun, and I am always welcoming a new permanent content mode, and the replayability on it sounds like a healthy thing for the game. However, I am worried that it might hinder progression for the main story. So if you're stuck in this board game farm and you can't progress anymore due to some gear stats or whatever, what if that holds you back from completing the main story? I don't want to spend 10, 20 business days rolling for separate gear stats and I can't continue the main story, you know? This could just be extremely pessimistic of me, and they know how to implement the board game without it being grind fest. So I hope that's the case. I hope it's a great time and I hope it's really fun. And to wrap up this video, I am very pleased with how 1.2 is looking, and it reinforced why I'm sticking with this game. It feels like NTE really wants to build a world instead of building another combat treadmill with HP inflation on the side, and I'm looking forward to that. I know it won't vibe with a lot of people, but it's definitely something to look forward for those who like more of the social aspects of this game, because I, for one, finished 1.1 within like 2 or 3 days, and I just wanted more reasons to play the game and not just worry about a stamina cost for what I want to do. And 1.2 looks like just that with the board game anomaly edition. So I'm curious, how does everybody else feel about this upcoming patch? Are you enjoying the direction the game is playing with more co-op focused events and less combat focused stuff in game? Good luck if you're pulling on 1.2 banners, and hopefully see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.